IVM.
Hey, thanks for listening to us. And if you liked what you heard, you might enjoy Cyrus Says also on the IVM network, where Cyrus Brocha interviews interesting people from all walks of life in his signature style. That's Cyrus Says.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of the Geek Food Podcast. Today is a bittersweet episode, even though it's for the occasion of Valentine's Day. I have Jishnu and Navin in the studio. Hi Jishnu, hi Navin, what's up?
Yeah.
Dark chocolates are bittersweet,
yes.
right?
Are they? Yeah, of course they
exactly.
are. Yes, by
sea salt dark chocolates.
Even more
yes.
bitter salt.
This is our dark chocolate episode.
This is our dark chocolate episode, perfect for the occasion once again of Valentine's Day. Why is it bittersweet, Jishnu? Why don't you explain it to us?
I'm hungry, so I thought of chocolates.
Okay.
I haven't eaten much. I've just had a lot of coffee.
Right. Oh, also Naveen, this is his last episode as our producer.
That dude.
What? Naveen, how could you do this to us?
Man, you know.
What? Give me your best explanation.
Really, to be honest, Naveen, you haven't given us a genuine explanation. You just,
you haven't. And
like
also,
half an hour ago, you walked in the room and you said, "By the way, guys, see ya."
But I'm leaving.
Essentially.
I'm leaving you all in very capable hands.
No, definitely.
And
we'll get to that.
We'll meet
our next producer.
Yeah. So in
victim.
Beyonce's words, Amit said to me, "Let me upgrade you." And
oh wow!
So
I thought you were going to say so long and thanks for all the fish.
That too, and and to the left as well. So basically, I'm just like doing much more in terms of.
So for those of you who
bought
don't
a new
know,
shirt. He looks great.
He's looking
he's
great
shaved.
today.
Yeah,
he's looking fit.
He's just
and
killing it day by day,
giving us a big FU.
He's a huge celebrity in the stand-up comedy circuit. And he's really, really moving on to bigger and better things. So, Naveen, let me just say this. May the force be with you. Have a good, run for as long as you last, goddammit. And, it was a pleasure having you here.
Thanks, man.
Please tell us your favorite moments of me.
Okay. I love the fact that whenever I was taking like videos on the side and everybody was like just talking and intensely discussing, Jishnu would like take time out to pose for me. Yeah. And that was adorable. So
I like that your favorite thing about me on the
It's
podcast is
about
me
the
not doing my job.
Okay. And obvious like the digressions, the Yule 2 conversations and all of that.
Well,
like,
at least somebody likes it.
We have a fan.
Yes. I enjoy that. I like absurd comedy in general.
Our
So.
biggest
because
fan,
we
our
have
biggest
had
fan is leaving
emails
us.
about people not liking him,
know.
which kind of sucks, but screw that guy.
Oh,
but
But
anyway.
it's been a very fun journey in general, like even doing the live thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
Like, it feels like we've come so long, so far.
You were there for our first and last live event.
Hey, we'll bring it back.
We must.
Yeah.
So, Naveen, does this mean that you will stop appearing on the show?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, that's good to
I'll
hear.
still be around,
That's great to hear. So for those of you who, now, Naveen, you can be your true self. You can like be unbridled and, just give your opinion without trying to satisfy the hosts who you worked for previously, but
Wait,
not
he was
anymore.
trying?
Well, yeah. He kept his opinions to himself. Then he
was
told me he
holding
hates
back.
Jumanji. And I was just like, that's not cool at all. Anyway, Naveen has been great. But we're going to swiftly move on from your life to Akshat, who has sent us an email, which we're going to quickly read before we get into the episode. Let's see. Akshat says, "Hey guys, I hope everything is fine." He sensed something.
Wow.
I'm
There was a
currently
disturbance.
listening to the second cartoon episode. It's called What a Cartoon Episodes. Or what a Cartoon Episode Part 2. In one of the previous episodes, a fan requested for an episode on mind-bending movies. I'm quite sure that was not the word that he used. Bending was definitely not the word that he used. I, as a Geek Fruit fan in capital, and
Wait,
the greatest...
fan in capital or geek fruit in capital?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Please.
What?
I'm a Geek Frut fan. F-R-U-T fan. And the greatest fan of such films also requests for the same. By the way, my picks are Following, which was Nolan's first feature, which is mentioned in a bracket, a parenthesis.
In a parenthesis.
Memento, Inception. I'm seeing a trend here.
Yeah, I think I see where he's going.
But then he moves on to Primer, which is a movie that I've always wanted to discuss on the show, which we have to get
Let's
to.
do that.
Predestination, something we have spoken on this show
Yeah,
about.
Naveen, you should get to that.
I love this.
Yeah.
Time Crimes, a movie I've not heard of or seen. Have
I've
you
heard
heard
of
of
it.
it?
True crime?
Time
Crime.
Crimes.
What was true crime?
True crime is the genre.
Yeah.
No, isn't that a...
That's
isn't
True
that a-
Lies, and
That's
that's
True Detective.
Jamie Lee Curtis and and Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is a thoroughly overrated film. Donnie Darko, great film. Jake Gyllenhaal. Triangle, not heard of that either. ... and many more. First, I thought, Jishnu, you were signing off from your email.
I know, right?
Anyway, also do share your views on the terrible The Man from Earth sequel. I have heard of it. You've seen The Man from Earth?
So what I did was I recently went for a screening that happened in Andheri.
For the sequel or the original?
Janam, who's now your current producer, by the way.
Yes, we will get to Janam. Spoilers.
Jesus
God
Christ.
Sorry, we'll just
You're fired, Navin.
Yeah, let's make this easier for you.
So Janam was also there, and we watched the movie. Basically, we watched the first movie,
the John Bixby one.
Yeah, and then
Jerome Bixby,
I think. Yeah. And then we saw him on Skype and we chatted with him.
You spoke to Jerome Bixby?
Yeah, the director of the movie after the screening. Yeah.
Is he the director and the writer as well?
As in, like, he co-wrote it in terms of like adapting
Wait. What time of day was it where he was? Was he in his pajamas? Was he?
It was like midnight for him.
Oh my God!
Well done, Jerome Bixby.
Yeah. So we spoke to him, and then they showed a trailer. When the whole conversation was over, they showed us a trailer of the second movie.
They dropped. Is he also in charge of the second film then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So then I was like, oh my God, this is disgusting.
So you haven't seen the movie yet?
Not the second one.
I've downloaded it, so I've not seen it.
Because the whole allure of it was like having them in one common, like, what makes 12 Angry Men great is that
exactly. It's the same story.
The setting was what really was great. I don't know. I'm not sold on the second movie.
Okay, fair enough. Let's. I mean, it can't be as good as the first one.
But the fact that they're still like doing screenings around the movie, that means that movie's a cult hit in its own way, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's why.
No, it really is a cult hit. And it's like it's a brilliant movie. For those of you guys who haven't seen it, The Man from Earth is about literally I don't want to actually give away much of it, but it's just about 12 professors of different disciplines, talking about hypothetical situation in which a man who was alive from the prehistoric, like
from the Neanderthal age,
from Neanderthal age, who's been alive till till now.
It's a prequel to Encino Man starring Brendan Fraser.
Essentially.
Oh man!
All right. So he does say, do share your views on the terrible Man from Earth sequel. So he says it's terrible. So you may be right. And he ends by saying, "Let us keep Gotham safe." Bye.
Okay.
Is he a fan of Gotham?
No one can keep
He said while jumping from the rooftop.
All right. Okay. So that was our email. So what today's episode is in lieu of Valentine's Day.
Wait. We have one more order of business.
We do?
Yeah, I wanted to derail.
Right. Of course. Yes, we do have one more order.
So we had a competition going on Twitter.
A very difficult one. I told you guys, don't do this competition.
I'm very impressed.
Super difficult.
I'm very impressed. Somebody finally got it. So
why didn't you explain what the competition was?
If you had been listening 2 weeks ago, we put out this thing on Twitter where we said, if you can identify a certain Easter egg in the Geek Fruit banner, which you can find on the website / on our Twitter page itself, then you could win a chance to come on the show. And it was pretty hard. Tejas is right. It was quite difficult. Yeah. It's a banner that I designed like months ago for the website with more than, I don't know.
It's an excellent banner.
Not of like 2 dozen, 3 dozen Easter eggs, pop culture references in there. And it was about finding Starman, finding a David Bowie reference. And again, if you go to our Twitter page, you can see where it is. We finally revealed it because it took about 2 weeks, but finally somebody did manage to find it. So congratulations.
Yeah, very good. Who is the winner?
The winner is nameless and is just it's a company, I guess. It's at Corner Cafe Conversations.
It took a company to find their damn answer. Holy shit.
I don't know what this is.
They deploy the interns to go and look for it, like chappa chankar.
Like. So this happened literally just this morning. So I haven't looked these people up yet. They have a SoundCloud page. It's Corner Cafe Chronicles Vintage Rock and Roll of the Future.
It's a band? It's a band. Maybe? Wow, that's cool. I don't know. That's way cooler.
Hey, whoever you guys are, we're going to reach out to you
soon. Play your music on the show.
Why the frick
and
not?
Feature a front man, not everybody.
Yeah, just the front man.
So, way to go, guys.
Well done.
Or girls, people in between, whatever you is. And we'll see you guys soon, is the good news.
Congratulations. All I want to know is what tool did you use to create Starman that way? Was it dissolve, luminosity, subtract, divide?
Probably.
What Photoshop filter did you use? Because that's what it reeked of. I mean,
blending.
It was so difficult to blend.
It's all about the blending mode.
It's all about blending. Yeah. All right.
It's like when you look towards the sky and there's trolley things in your eyes. It's that smudged in the poster. You have to really strain your eyes.
It's like a cloud painting. It's a cloud painting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. All right.
Moving on.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's
we did an episode a couple of years ago. Wow, we've been doing this show for a while now.
It's weird that we can say that.
Yeah, we did an episode a couple of years ago called Love in the Time of the Multiverse. And we basically, did a listicle-ish kind of episode where we spoke about our favorite couples in the science fiction, pop culture, adventure, fantasy realms. And it was fun. But I thought since it's been 2 years and it's time to move on and do another episode about love. Because love, as you know, transcends time and space, as according to Christopher Nolan in the movie Interstellar. So,
Which Akshat likes.
No, he didn't
mention it.
Don't put words in his mouth.
Dot was
Don't
my
put
name.
his
You're
words in his
fired.
email.
Don't put words in his mouth.
Hey guys, I'm going.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna maybe take it easy on you. But today's episode, we decided we won't do one single thing. Maybe we might do a variety of things. And one of them is maybe talk about some of the films that we really enjoy that inhabit the very rare but nice genre of romantic and then insert pop culture-y genre like science fiction, adventure, fantasy, etc., etc. It may not be the complete focus of the film, but if it was, that would be cool. For example, and I may kick this one off, but when Deadpool released like a couple of years ago, they released on Valentine's Day, and the entire
The whole
marketing campaign
campaign,
was just about it being teased as a romantic comedy.
Right.
And several times in the movie itself, also he mentions that this is not an action film. This is a romantic comedy, and while it is an action film, there are hints of it as well in the movie. So I thought that's one kind of space-ish which we might want to talk about. Are there any films, Naveen, that come to mind that when you think about the romance genre in these movies? Because I think science fiction is a great tool to kind of tell some of these stories. Maybe it's in the future, maybe it's now. But what do you think?
I loved Wall-E a lot because of that very reason.
yeah.
That,
Well
didn't need humans, and it's a post-apocalyptic Earth, and it's very disparate looking, but also in the midst of all of that, love is the only thing.
It's a love story.
It's a love story,
It's straight out,
and the way they communicate with each other, the way he holds a small hand, and
the first 45 minutes are without dialogue. It's
exactly.
just like, sound and...
So yeah, when you see that, that love is not just like a term used very loosely.
Yeah.
It's something that emotes a lot of things, and everything you see in the movie is what love stands for.
Yeah, there's also there's another level, which is the whole environmental angle of the whole thing.
Yeah,
which kind of becomes incidental towards the third.
It's very backseat throughout the movie, I feel.
But he starts the entire thing because of just, trying to impress this chick. And it's great. Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
What about... I feel like in our previous episodes we've spoken about Eternal Sunshine a lot. It's come up in so many different episodes where we've been either it's an underrated science fiction film really at the center of it, but it's also really a love story. What about the movie Passengers, which you saw recently? Was it recently or was it last year?
That did cross my mind for half a second.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I've
I'm
still
glad
not
it
seen
was
it.
only
That's why I
half a
put a
second.
question mark at the
God,
end of it.
no.
But it's
Is
like
it
a
a
love
romantic?
story.
Is it a romance film?
As in,
Technically-
I'll tell you the plot of the movie.
Jesus. Go
for
and
it.
I'll tell you why.
Why?
Did you ever think that we would repeat speaking about
No,
Passengers?
so I'll tell you why I'm talking about this, because there's a way you can make it better also. Okay?
Give us the story now.
Okay, so now this is the better version that I saw on a video yesterday, and I'm going to tell you that. Okay, a girl wakes up in a spaceship that's flying towards like a better future, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like been 100 years in transition, and the pod opens up out of nowhere way before she's supposed to land on that planet.
Right. I
Okay.
think it's coming.
They're in
It's all,
stasis.
it's all Jishnu's comments on the
It's a
movie are
bus.
coming back
The
to
movie,
me.
they're on a bus. Everybody's asleep.
Yeah.
She wakes up too early, and she's like, "What the hell?"
Huh.
But it's actually
That's
the guy
like
who
even
wakes
when
up
I
too
do
early.
those overnight buses from here to Hyderabad and you
Okay.
wake up at 3 in the morning.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
God.
then like she meets this guy who's
Yeah.
already awake himself, and he has like a lifestyle going on around there, and she falls for him, and he falls for her, and they have amazing sex and everything.
Oh, what, really?
Space
Yeah,
sex, dude.
Space sex?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
and then she finds
Buoyancy.
out that he's the one who
Do
actually
they float?
Buoyancy.
guys.
They really are
Gravity.
floating? So,
And then she finds out that he's the one who opened her pod.
because he was lonely.
Yeah.
But why did he wake up?
His
was a genuine
His was
mistake.
a low class thingy and malfunction. So he woke up.
So what happens? I'm okay with being
he had
spoiled.
a thought. This is basically, remember Titanic? He was like in the third class, like down in the dungeon, and she was like up there. This is kind of like that in that he's got the third class ticket and she's got the first class ticket.
Yeah,
But he's like,
yeah.
hey, I really want you to wake up because you're hot. So he goes and he messes with it.
Yeah.
And then eventually
So now-
He just wakes up because she's hot?
basically,
Yeah, exactly. Now we know all of this beforehand already, because they show us in the movie in this order.
Yeah.
Now imagine that showing us all of this and then revealed that he was
Yeah,
the one
you
who
just
opened it.
revealed the way you
Exactly.
explained it to me.
That would have been so
That's
much
great.
better. The movie
Yeah.
would have done better.
Yeah.
And now because they realize the story is so shorty, they had to throw a new angle altogether of the spaceship malfunctioning.
Yeah.
So for like a brief
Because
second,
like at the very end, like the spaceship's like, oh, by the way, guys, we're gonna like crash into a thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, now it's an action movie, so we got to work together to
and
save
Lawrence
save
Fishburne
ourselves.
comes in and he's like, something has to be
Oh,
done.
right. Yeah, he's there in it. Oh, I
He's
love
the
Lawrence Fishburne.
He's the captain that was also asleep, and they're like, wake up the friggin' captain because he's the only one that can save us. Some shit
captain's
like that.
asleep.
But he also is not
I don't
adjusted,
know.
so he just like dies.
Yeah, it's stupid.
And then
Lawrence
like,
Fishburne dies.
yeah, and then Chris Pratt saves the day,
No.
and then they make a new, better future inside the space pod, and they wake up 90 years
This
later, and they're
seems
like,
really bad.
exactly.
So I thought love was like a central character in this film, but clearly I was mistaken.
It was Chris Pratt's ego.
Have you seen this very small indie movie, which I really enjoyed? I don't know why, but it just came to me, called Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. Have you seen it?
Nope.
It's actually quite a nice movie. It's like basically, it's got Steve Carell and Keira Knightley in
Oh
it.
yeah, I've heard about
And it's a
this.
really like small, low budget film. And it's basically about how like the Earth has picked up, a signal that
It's
it's
going
gonna
to
blow up. There's an asteroid about to hit, and so people have abandoned. It's like The Walking Dead, but nobody's zombies. It's like abandoned streets and everything like that.
Yeah.
And Steve Carell's this guy who's never had much luck in love, and and he just chances upon this pixie type character, which is Keira Knightley. She's this like very happy-go-lucky type. She was basically like an Imtiaz Ali character, but she's actually the story is quite well written, and they kind of just get along, and they kind of move through different places together as the Earth is about to kind of come to an end. And it's quite a sweet kind of movie, but with a very dark kind of storyline, like a foreboding kind of storyline placed upon it. So I thought it was really nice, and it's a nice indie recommendation.
Okay.
For Valentine's Day, if you want to go the sci-fi route, which I really, really enjoyed. And Steve Carell's is,
I have
is
one
my
that you will love to hate.
boy. Go.
They're 100 episodes in.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Is it?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has a relationship that's been going on for 5 seasons. They have literally gone through space and time for each other.
Wow, that's great.
Fitz and Simmons are the
Fitz and
brainiacs.
Simmons.
They're the brainiacs of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
The one is a bioengineer type of thingy, medical person. The other one is like the guy that built the design for the Quinjets. And
Cool.
they've done things where like in season 3, one of them was trapped on a asteroid
Well, yeah,
in
give us
another dimension.
Give us the worst
Yeah.
situation which they came out
So the two
from.
worst situations are like about 2 seasons ago, one of them was trapped on an asteroid in another dimension right around when Doctor Strange was coming out. Like when that whole like you can jump through
Diamonds, like different dimensions.
Yeah, so one was in a different
Multiverses.
dimension, so like the other one like literally has to like reach out into another dimension and like hope to God he can save the other
Wow.
one. And now currently they're in a different time.
Which time?
They are 90 years in the future.
Oh, cool.
And the
Okay.
world has like ended. And
Is the MCU still running?
it is still going. It's still going. It's still
In the
going.
future.
But it's basically like, it's essentially, come to think of it, I rewatched Logan last night, and it's a very similar premise that they're in right now, which is some cataclysmic event happened. But, of course, all of the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are in the future except for Fitz, who's in the present.
Yeah.
But so he's separated. So he now needs to get
Right.
back together with her. He needs to find a way to go into the future and get her back and bring them
Oh,
back to
nice.
the present.
That's cool.
So like space and time, genuinely both space and time
That's
for each
sweet.
other. So
And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. renewed, still doing well.
still
Jishnu?
going, dude.
Yeah.
Still
It's
going.
like that distant relative
Yeah.
you have,
Yep.
but you just, you
Still-
kind of check up on. now
Once
and
in a
then.
while,
Freaking
yeah.
good, man.
Yeah.
Coulson's
Well done.
doing
I mean,
his
like
thing.
really for
Your
everything that.
patronage is everything to them.
Yeah, literally the day Jishnu stops watching,
Watching,
it's gonna
it'll
get
get
cancelled. But
I've done my
let us take a break. Okay, let's take a break, and we're gonna come back and talk about a few more films, and then we're gonna maybe make a hypothetical situation of our own of a romance in the future. Be right back.
Tired of the shrill madness of primetime television?
Can't make sense of your morning newspaper anymore?
Then take a break to delve into some real conversations about policy, politics, and economics.
Join me, Pavan Srinath,
And me, Hamsini Hariharan.
as we analyze news and views from India and the world and talk to experts on a wide range of issues on the Pragati podcast.
Episodes out every fortnight.
You can find us on the IVM Podcasts app or wherever else you get your podcasts from.
Hey guys, we're back and we're doing a Valentine's Day special. But there's something slightly more important at hand, which is that Navin, as we mentioned earlier, is departing the show as a producer and is now going to be a recurring guest star. And to replace him, we have the very able and new nerd, Janam. Hi, Janam. What's up?
Hi, Tejas.
How does it feel to be the producer of the Geek Food Podcast for the last 30 minutes?
It's a privilege.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's really not the word I was
We've
expecting.
upgraded.
We have upgraded. Yeah. Because see, like we were telling you earlier, we broke Navin. So he started with lots of promise and he was like enthusiastic. He's like, we're going to make this show the greatest show ever. And then he made his own show the greatest show ever. And so we broke him. We have that way with things.
I'm very excited because not very long ago we had somebody write in saying we need more of a female perspective.
Yes.
Boom.
You
It
got
is
your email
now,
answered.
It is now the brain of Geek Fruit is
Yeah.
the woman's kind.
It's exactly like Doctor Who.
Exactly.
It's exactly like Doctor
Yes.
Who. We have had many producers on this show, which is what we like in the.
We're
Doctor
now
Who
on
references.
season 3. Let's think of it
yeah,
that way.
season 3.
Season
yes.
3.
I was like, because when you dropped the news on us today saying that, and by the way, listener, we don't get to choose.
Yeah,
we just told these things.
We're not lying in the slightest. This was literally half an hour before we started recording.
He's just like,
By
hey,
the
so
way,
I'm not doing this damn show anymore. But Janam will handle it.
Yeah.
So good luck, Janam. May the force be with you.
Thank you.
And we're gonna continue with our episode. Which you may use that female perspective on now. So we were going to talk about a few other movies. You know what? A movie which we haven't spoken about on the show ever in the last couple of years. Edward Scissorhands.
No, we have. We briefly did.
Have we?
We did for like some random...
For something else.
Tim Burton thingy.
But great romantic movie.
You know what we did? I actually remember what we talked about it when we watched. You and me watched Miss Peregrine's
Yes,
Face.
that's right.
And
Miss
we were like,
Peregrine's...
and we were like, you know what? When's the
School
last
for
time Tim
Gifted
Burton
Youngsters.
actually? Yeah.
No, it's not School for Gifted.
Basically,
That's Xavier.
It was literally that.
But
it was
Mrs.
literally
no, we
X-Men, but
must
Tim
know
Burton.
that Miss Peregrine's
Fantastic
Home
Beasts and where to find them.
Home for something.
Fantastic
Wayward
Kids.
Girls. I don't know. Like it was something.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we brought up Scissorhands because we asked ourselves the question, actually, when is the last time Tim Burton did a really good...
Yeah.
Well, he's done.
Exactly.
He
It has.
does good movies,
yeah,
man.
he's done good stuff since at Scissorhands, but
Yeah.
that was one of like our favorite.
Yeah. My favorite movie by him is
Burton's.
still Edward. I think he's a romantic at heart, though. I think he's done a lot of
Yeah.
like good movies. Like Corpse Bride is a really nice film, actually, which is quite underrated. Because I think everybody just remembers Nightmare Before Christmas when they watch that. But Corpse
Yeah.
Bride is this really, really nice kind of, traditional stop motion animation film, which is just about a guy who's trying to get married to this girl that he loves. And by mistake, he reanimates a corpse who wanted to be married to somebody else but died before that could happen. So she kind of torments his life. And Danny Elfman, I think, does the singing voice for this character, and he also he scored the entire thing, traditional Tim Burton film. But like the score and the animation, the story, just beautiful stuff, man. Really, really good film. And so anyway, I was going to talk about Edward Scissorhands, but I guess Corpse Bride is actually quite a really good film. But let us take a second, and since you just completed watching Black Mirror, and I think it's quite a dark kind of approach to the subject. But I think there have been some good episodes like San Junipero, which kind of extends which one as well, an Emmy, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I think there are some episodes and maybe some inklings when we watch stuff like that about how romance would be viewed in the future. What would be your take? And maybe you could use some suitable examples, like the movie Her, which is about AI. I think people falling in love with AI is just
Yeah,
like a
the thing,
dream. Why is
I-
that a dream?
Her didn't land for me for whatever reason.
Yeah?
I fell asleep.
It's a dream for whom?
I think, no, it's a dream for humans to be able to connect with something that they can create from scratch. I don't know, why is that a thing? I mean, it's just because you have control over
It's
it?
just need to please somebody, and what happens in most relationships is eventually you stop impressing that person and they move out because of the very reason from your life. So I think at least with AI we have assurance that you can always design them the way you want them to.
That's so
I also think it's like the immediate is gratification a word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a word.
Immediate gratification of.
Yes, gratification is a word.
gratification is a word.
I was thinking of a stroke song, which is gratisfaction.
No one said those two words together before.
Immediate gratification?
Yeah.
What are you saying? Those words almost go exclusively with
It's a thing.
Yeah.
So
It's
I was
instant gratification.
Instant
Yeah.
gratification.
Immediate, you won't believe what a synonym for the word immediate is.
Exactly. No, just immediate gratification.
She's been on for 60 seconds and already so helpful. So, no, I think the thing about AI is also much like with that, I think it was the opening episode of season 2 with Bryce Dallas Howard. The Tinder.
the liking,
three.
Oh, was it 3?
Yeah, season
yeah,
three.
season
Nosedive.
3. Yeah, yeah.
Nosedive.
Right.
What's
So
called
I
Nosedive?
think just like, I mean, even if it's not specifically AI, but I think it's just the way the world works now. Like the number of apps that are out there that are sort of relationship based of just like, you don't have to put any effort into meeting people. Like, we will present people to you, and you just lay on your bed, or like while you're taking a dump, you can just be like, yep, I do I want to meet this human being or not?
Wow. Yeah,
And that's it.
stuff,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like that is literally what
Have
it
you guys
is.
used any apps for dating? Might as well let's get into this topic.
Yeah.
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 Yes, all of us have.
I've met
So
like,
this is the thing. It's
a
not
thing.
like it's not
I hate
like
myself
we
every
are.
time I do it, but I do
Yeah,
it.
but it's not like we are like, say, we can be traditionalists for a bunch of things. For example, something that comes to mind is Jishnu. When Jishnu writes songs, he writes in a notebook with a pen and a paper, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to a lot of songwriters, including myself, now I've started just using Evernote for pretty much everything. So in some regards, we are like, we would withhold the thing to be like very new age and with the times. But I think something that kind of, I think dating using apps is now just a thing.
It's common
just,
place,
it's just happening
It's a
now.
thing. Like,
So
it's unavoidable.
So
like
that's
I've
changed
met
everything,
4
right?
people of 4 different apps in my life, at different points in my
I don't
life.
even
Right.
know that many apps.
Yeah. Like,
Okay, let's
it's
list
just-
them.
I can think of 4.
I can think of 4 as
See,
well.
I'll-
No, I can think of 3.
You can think of as many as you want because the gays have figured it out.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm sure you can.
We've been way ahead of all of
okay,
you.
so there's Tinder.
I have
there's
Grinder. I have Tinder, Grinder,
Hinge.
Hinge, and Bumble.
Why do you have
Hinge.
Grindr?
No, in my head, I'm
Okay,
thinking
okay.
of this. God damn it.
One
I've seen
second.
you
Look,
around.
You're fired.
You can have
Right? What
Grindr.
the hell?
I'm like, I didn't see you
Why are
around.
you still talking? Why is he still here? We
We
have
can
a
have
producer.
Grindr. It's
I mean,
it's
I
not a
have
big
Grindr
deal.
open right now. It's 1 minute away.
Okay, so we have Tinder, we have Grindr, we have
Bumble.
Hinge.
what's
Hinge?
Bumble?
Hinge.
What's a Bumble?
Bumble is for rich people.
Oh, is that what that is?
Like, you can only get it
Jishnu
on
is a rich
iPhone.
person.
Here's what I like about Bumble, the functionality that
Is it an iOS app exclusively?
Yeah, yeah.
Because then
Yeah, Bumble is a exclusive app, and
Yo, wait, no, hang on. Here's
Okay.
why I like Bumble.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
Jaanam, back me up on this. Why I like Bumble is because wait. Tell
She's
me,
not
tell me
been
if
on
you like
very
it.
many.
why does she like
Wait, I'm selling it to
oh,
her.
you're selling the concept.
okay.
Go
Get
for
a
it.
man, Jesus Christ. What? Why is Naveen still here? He's fired. Okay, look. So the good thing about Bumble is that the girl has to initiate the conversation. So you both mutually swipe right on each other, but the guy cannot start saying anything until the girl does. And even if the girl does say something like say hello, you have 24 hours for her to reciprocate with a second thing. So
Yeah.
like let's say you say hello and I'm like, sup sexy, what up? And then you're like, no, I don't like this guy. In 24 hours, the
match
thing
is
is gone.
unmatched.
Yeah, so she has
Okay.
to keep the
So
conversation
it
going.
would have been. I should be called ladies first.
So basically, the ball is in our court.
Completely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
like that more because that sort of like relieves some pressure of
That,
me
see,
to be
you,
like, good, I don't have
you
to do
like
anything.
that because that's what it
Yeah.
does for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But this app is basically going with the fundamental idea that men are the worst.
Yes, yes. Oh,
so if someone says show
Totally.
Bob, you know when to like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I like it because I'm lazy and I don't have to like say anything.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, great. You have all the pressure to like do the work.
So do you actually get replies after the match?
I've had it for like a week. I got like 2.
Okay, not bad.
So,
Dude,
I mean-
one second. For those who are listening, ladies, Jishnu
That's a
is
record for me.
Jishnu is a sexy, very eligible young
Yeah,
man.
You can
and,
tell by the sound of the voice.
Yes, that's true. And so I think that's that makes sense. That
Can we
you
move
are
on?
And
twice-
if you drop him a WhatsApp, he'll take 24 hours to reply anyway. So
Whoa,
That was
Naveen,
also-
all the dirt is coming out now because he's bouncing.
Now that he's fired.
Now that he's fired. All right, what was the 4th app? Sorry, somebody.
No, that's a
Hinge.
Hinge.
Ah, so what is Hinge? I've never used that.
our friend once called it Hinge by mistake. And we had
Mayur
It's
Hinge.
Sound guy.
the thing for Maharashtrians. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. So that's one aspect of I think
Yeah,
technology.
how is this related to science fiction?
Yes, of
Oh,
course.
yes, okay,
It's,
yeah.
no,
Wait,
it's,
it took me a second.
It
No.
is, of course.
We
It's
digress.
dating in.
Yeah.
But the second thing I wanted to talk about is, have you, and this is a weird thing, it's kind of connected to AI, but I feel like I've always, like, when you, in popular culture, I feel like there've always been, like, characters that you kind of fall in love with, and I think that's, like, why people want to kind of create AI, because you want to create a character from scratch. But I think there has definitely been at least one video game character I've been like, wow, I wish she was real, and that would have been amazing. And have you ever, what is the character in popular culture, in either fiction or maybe gaming or whatever, that you've maybe had a thing for and said, wow, if that was a real person, that would have been amazing? I'm sure you've had a crush on a fictional character.
Sure
And that's
I
what I
have. I
thought
just can't-
we should talk about.
Yeah.
Naveen, go.
Why am I first?
I don't know, because you're
You always have someone in your head, yeah.
Yeah,
You have a list. You have
Come
a
on, you're a
list.
comedian. It's spontaneity.
I mean, like, I used to like Kevin Arnold from Wonder Years.
Oh.
That's not sci-fi enough.
No,
But
that's not
Yeah,
seven. Yeah,
but I mean,
It's got
All right.
flashbacks.
Great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack.
Amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh well.
Yeah, I don't think I have a crush on any character as such. No.
Never like.
Well,
I remember,
clearly you do,
No,
so
no.
go,
I
go,
mean,
who?
like, but I'm saying, for example, like when the whole obsession with Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit
Yeah.
is like a very it's a very pop culture on the
Yeah,
surface level kind of thing. So I'm saying I feel like there's some allure towards fictional.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
The allure to Jessica Rabbit is
No,
not
I'm
a
saying
character.
but for whatever reasons, right? Like I'm just saying, there's always something that, or there's a character maybe that you've always been like, oh, that's cool. I love her. I love this one from like Hera from Rebels or whatever it is.
Sure,
I'm just saying,
yeah. I mean,
so I wanted
but-
to know if you guys have ever.
Okay, for whatever reason, the
yeah.
first one that did come into my mind, even though like it's not somebody that I've like thought about a lot. I can say I've had a crush on, but
Yeah.
like somebody that I really love is I'm forgetting the character's name, but Gina Torres from Firefly. She Wash's wife. Christ, how am I forgetting? I feel horrible.
Zoe.
Zoe, yes.
Yes,
Christ.
yes.
Yeah, Zoe. But that's also because, like, I think I love every female character. Well, okay. Penny from Dr. Horrible.
Yeah,
Just in general,
of course,
Joss Whedon's,
good one.
Joss Whedon's female leads, I think, are one of the best, most beautiful,
Best written,
strongest,
yeah.
well-written. Like, anybody would be lucky to just be friends with anybody in a Joss Whedon
Right,
script.
right,
Because he
right.
just writes amazing people.
Good characters,
Like,
yeah.
those characters are just
Yeah,
so
Penny's
well-rounded.
good. What's her name? One of my favorites ever.
Felicia Day.
Felicia Day. Yes,
Yeah,
of course. From
My heart did break when I found out she got married.
she's had a kid also.
Yeah, she has a kid. Yeah.
We
She has
digress
a-
again, guys.
Huh?
We're digressing again.
No, but it's fine. Felicia Day is like the queen of the internet.
Listen,
Self-proclaimed.
are you a producer or something? Like,
Yeah, I know.
I
This
didn't
is,
see your 2 weeks notice.
Yeah. All right. So, Janam, that leaves you.
Burn notice.
Is there
I-
has there been a character that you've kind of been like, wow, this person was.
So in the science fiction world, I don't think as yet, but I've always had a thing for Michael Scott from The Office.
Oh my gosh.
We opened the episode with that, like Steve Carell not finding love.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always there for him. I'm always there for
You
his
know, there's a
story.
new season coming out.
Yeah, I know, but
Are you
that
excited?
doesn't have
Yay or
Michael
nay?
Scott in it.
So are you?
We don't know yet. I mean, he might cameo. Like, he might cameo. Let's see.
That's not good enough.
Yeah, it's not good enough. But
That's
like,
what she said.
Jim and Pam. Yeah, I know. All right, cool.
right.
So we're gonna wrap this segment, come back, and we're gonna start shipping to. This is a term that we've only recently started using.
This is news
This
to
is
me.
our episode, shipping.
I'm 28. I'm not that old. How have I never heard of this? term?
Because no, it's fine. Like, do you know what? Are you woke, Jishnu?
I'm like I've had a lot of coffee.
Yeah. Are you woke AF? That's another thing that the youngins are using these
Woke
days.
up.
So okay,
Clearly
we're
not.
gonna take
Clearly
a
I'm not.
short break, go to sleep, and then come back woke up to discuss who in the vast universe of fictional characters that we would ship together. Be right back with one hired producer and one fired.
Hi, I'm Amit Verma, the host of the weekly podcast The Seen and the Unseen. In my show, I examine the seen effects and the unintended consequences of public policy and private action. I show how policies meant to help the poor often end up hurting the poor. I've done episodes so far on demonetization, GST, surgical strikes, immigration and MRP, and I will continue my forensic assault on the truth in the weeks to come.
Catch the show every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer. Or visit seenunseen.in for all the latest updates.
Right, and we're back. We're talking about Valentine's Day, and we decided to do a bunch of things this episode. We've spoken about some of the movies that we really like that deal with romance in the science fiction or maybe fantasy space. And we've also talked about apps and dating and how romance is in our age and maybe in the future, what it might be like.
So I wanted to bring up with regards to the app part of it.
Right.
So Black Mirror
Do
season
you
4.
have a retraction? Oh, no.
No,
Okay,
no.
cool. Go.
So I was talking about this earlier in the earlier episode as well.
Yeah.
That Hang the DJ is being pegged
yeah.
as the new San Junipero. But
I'm
it's-
yet to see that, yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah.
but it's
Which was Hang the DJ? Hang the DJ
The
was
best one so far, I think.
Which one?
That-
Remind
I don't
me.
know.
Which
I
Which is
haven't-
the one you like the most?
the
That
dating
was
one.
that one.
When
The
they're
dating-
chilling and then...
No spoilers, please.
Okay,
I haven't seen it.
So how do you know it's the best one?
Because I've heard people talking about it, but
Which is,
Yeah.
which is
I don't want to
vaguely
know what
remind
it's
me-
about.
Dating one. I have many thoughts on
It's an
Black Mirror, on
expiry
this
date
last-
on their dating, so...
Right.
5
okay.
days,
Yeah,
24
sure,
hours.
sure,
Is that
sure,
your
sure.
favorite episode, by any chance?
Here's the thing. I really didn't like the season. I was very disappointed.
Okay, cool. So I've not...
Just all around.
Because I asked that about people.
I just hold the show to a much higher.
Yeah,
thing.
I seen the first episode and I felt,
Yeah,
I was just like,
I was just like, eh. Anyway,
all right.
Your point is?
So I'll have to spoil it for...
No, don't. Please.
So I
I'm
won't do
literally
that.
on the
spoil.
next episode.
Yeah,
I won't do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, okay, it's not the most positive episode as it's pegged to
You
be.
spoiled it.
I didn't
No,
spoil it.
Black Mirror is overall.
It's glum.
Yeah, so
gloomy and
let's
dark.
all watch it and come back and then we'll discuss this.
No,
Yeah.
But
you won't
where-
because you won't be here to produce us.
No, I'll be
How will
here
you
to
come
talk
back?
about it.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay then.
Okay.
You'll just walk
This is
across
the last time we
hall.
ever hear about it.
You're just in the other room.
Okay, cool. So we're
Alright.
going to come to the topic of... Wait, Naveen, didn't you just say you wanted to speak about this and now you're saying you're not going to speak
Yeah,
about
because
it?
it's going to get spoiled for
So
you.
why don't you
Let's
put
not
it in
spoil it. Let's
an
not spoil it. It's fine.
allegorical format?
You've not seen it, right?
I haven't seen it
So-
yet.
no,
that's literally the next episode I
Screw
need to
it.
watch.
Screw it. Let's move on.
All right,
Yeah,
thanks
yeah.
for that
We'll come back to it.
digression,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Naveen.
Yeah.
We're going to ship some characters.
Right.
For those of you listening who don't know what the word ship is, you should
Tell
really
me.
hang out with us because we don't know these things at all. It is something that I see on YouTube comments a lot, which is that, people...
That's my problem. I don't read comments. Is that
It's
why I'm
probably,
not...
yeah, it features mostly in comments. It's happened on my Instagram. I see it on Instagram everywhere. So people like to ship people together, which means like to imagine if two characters from different franchises, universes, or even real life people, who haven't really met. It's just imagine at the end of The Last Jedi when Rey meets Poe. The moment you see that and they
Yeah.
introduce each other for the first time, you go like, I ship it. Let's do it.
God damn it.
Yeah, so
You can't
it's
see
like
what we can see, guys.
I don't know, but that's
swagger, the swagger.
the swag.
And in the end, you're
Yeah.
shipping Rey and Kylo.
Oh, was I Reylo?
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
wasn't everyone?
Yeah, I guess that.
little
I mean, no, it's apparent that like that's a vibe.
Yeah.
Like, man,
But-
that revenge sex would be insane.
Oh my God, revenge
Right?
of the sex. Okay, but anyway, moving on. So, which two characters from completely different franchises? I don't have any in mind at the moment.
I have a list, but they're in the same franchise.
So okay, we'll
Yeah.
get to it. So two characters from maybe different franchises, or maybe two people who you would not expect to be together. And since we are in the realm of science fiction and fantasy, maybe two different species.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
You know who I ship?
Let's go.
Okay.
Who do you
I'll
ship,
go
man?
after you.
Jennifer Lawrence from Hunger Games.
Okay, you mean
Sha-
Katniss Everdeen?
Katniss Everdeen
Yes.
and Shailene Woodley from the Divergent series.
Whoa!
Power lesbian couple, very adventurous.
Young, what would they call it? Young fiction? What do they call it? Something?
Young adult.
Young
Young.
adult fiction, science fiction. Okay.
I say yeah to this
So
relationship.
I haven't seen Divergent because
Neither
I heard
have
it
I
was
now,
the
yeah.
the lesser Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So
but then I
how
think the
was that?
character was really good. I mean, I watched the first two or three movies.
So we're not observing the rules of what orientation they are in their franchises.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
That's what sci-fi taught us. Like,
Because
it's beyond.
Because I
but
had
it's-
one.
As in, yeah. Okay, go
I had
for
one
it.
in the exact same space.
Yeah.
Xena and Gabrielle.
Nice.
Remember them?
I ship it.
Xena and Gabrielle, for sure, of
People
course.
have been
then
wanting them to be
okay.
shipped for like years.
I have news for you guys.
what's up?
What?
They're remaking Xena the Warrior Princess, and
Right.
this time she'll be a lesbian with Gabriel.
Really?
Yes.
But
What?
who's playing Xena and Gabrielle?
Somebody else.
Okay.
The final
Wait,
guy.
do you know who's making it or anything?
I just like this. It's a current I just read a news recently, and that's what I heard.
Okay.
Very good.
Awesome. Great.
That's excellent.
About friggin' time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Janam, you're next.
Right.
Who would you
so
ship?
I actually have a weird.
Weirder the
shipping.
better.
Yeah. So I would actually like to see these two creatures make babies.
Okay, nice. Okay, you're
which
getting
is-
specific. Okay.
Yeah. So this is. I would like to see.
Wait, let me guess. How many legs do these creatures have? Fur or no fur?
They're furries. Okay,
Oh,
let's
damn.
go for it. Let's go for
It's
it.
Pogs, I know it. What's up?
Yeah. So I would actually like to see Pogs and Baby Groot get together and make
Whoa, that is so wild.
got
Oh,
man,
wow,
damn.
that is nuts. How would that even? Okay,
That would
let's
hurt.
not even.
They
That would
look
be
like
painful.
Wookiee.
Oh
They
yeah,
look like Wookiees.
yeah. Okay.
Like walking tall figurines with hair on them.
But that would be if Chewbacca came in the picture. This is.
It's a threesome now.
Okay, you say Pog.
Pogs, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
Pogs.
I was
Do
just wild-eyed.
Are Pogs furry or do they have feathers? They're
are-
furry.
They
Yeah,
fly.
they're
So
those-
they're like
Yeah,
teeny-ish
no,
birds.
but,
Yeah, yeah.
oh wait, I forget. Do they have feathers?
They have feathers.
They have
But
feathers.
it's
Not
not.
fur.
It's fur.
Because they have to
It's
be
fur.
plugged for them to be eaten, which Chewie does while staring
It's
at
fur.
them.
It's like a cat's fur.
So they probably have hollow bones because it's hollow bones that makes birds fly.
Correct.
So they're hollow
Wow.
bone furry. Wait, but so then actually in that case when you cook a Pog, if you bite into it like Chewie is about to, you could probably just eat the bone because it's hollow bone. It's not like tough bone.
Do you eat chicken bones?
You can shoot chicken
You can
bones.
chew the marrow.
You can
yeah.
chew them.
But these will be hollow bones, so you could probably But actually, then again, so are
But
chicken bones,
Chewie
right?
loves to chew marrow, man. Like
He literally his
Chicken
name
bones
is
aren't as hollow.
Chewy.
But wait, but chicken bones aren't hollow because chickens don't fly as much as like say a pigeon.
But a
or
pork
whatever.
doesn't fly too much either.
I think what it
But they
does is
fly
it
more than
bounces
chickens.
around and then like flutters down.
It's like
and,
it's like a
But they were on a
little
really
kiwi.
high up. They were on a really high top
It's like
of
an
the
angry
hill.
bird.
They want to really.
It's like an Angry
They have
Bird.
slingshots. Do they
Oh
have
my
slingshots?
God! Has Angry Birds not done this already? You just made a multi-million-dollar.
Do the nurse fish that live on that
That'll be
island as well?
some,
Do
like-
they eat pogs as well? Do you think?
I
Or are they
think
vegetarian?
I think somebody's eating porgs.
They're eating
'cause-
pogs. Chewie was eating pogs.
No, Chewie was, but like the nurse fish.
But
I
Chewie
think-
will eat anything.
The caretakers.
Even they would eat because they're like abundantly available.
Great. Okay. So now on that end, to that end,
Back to humans. Sam Neill and Laura Dern from Jurassic Park. That never happened.
it was a thing.
It's a thing. Yeah.
It's a
100% thing, but so like thing
Oh,
is,
how about
why
this?
why wouldn't see they should have
Admiral
gone together.
Holdo
And
Princess Leia. What? Because that would have been cool. They kind of felt
or
it.
Admiral Holdo and Poe Dameron, like just like angry.
again, revenge sex.
Revenge sex, yeah.
Yeah, what? That seems to be a big theme now.
yeah.
No, but somebody I always felt needed a partner was C-3PO. And because, he's kind of like this dude who's always being
Yeah.
shut down
But
by
like
it. But he
who?
needs some love, I think,
But
in his life.
from who?
I think K2SO would be a good partner for him.
What?
From Rogue One.
I wouldn't
Because
I
he's
think-
snarky, he's a straight man.
Yeah,
and it's
but
like, in
I
the
feel
sense
like
of
I don't
straight
know that
man.
I don't think they'd get along. Like that would be.
I think they would be a cool couple of maybe it's a buddy cop.
No,
thing.
C-3PO has always spoken too much for my comfort in general.
But that's the humor of it. So I feel
understand.
like he needs somebody
just
to
like
understand
plug
him.
in something in his mouth.
Nobody
and shut him
understands him. Only R2D2 tolerates him, and everybody
Yeah,
else just
yeah.
tells C-3PO to never tell them the odds. That's about
I
it.
think maybe 3PO and what's the robot from Interstellar?
Tars.
Tars.
Yeah, Tars.
They could go well together.
Nice.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like
I
it.
don't know how they would do anything.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works mechanically.
But love
Like,
will transcend
love will-
dimensions
yes, and
Space and time,
universes.
yes.
And
So
geometry.
I think just like we ended our last one of our previous episodes with a Captain Planet fantasy casting, let us put up these for people to comment upon and see what reactions we get. And if people can come up with a better ship, then why don't you fly it into our email inbox?
Yeah.
April O'Neil and Michelangelo. Just saying.
No,
Amongst the four
Casey
of them,
Jones, dude. Casey
yeah, that's
Jones,
easy. But I
come
think
on.
amongst the four of them,
Yeah,
I think
of course.
I think
Michelangelo's
she,
always
she
had a
had
thing
the
for-
she had the thing for Mikey.
No, he had the thing
putting
for her.
I mean, the most
She would
reciprocated.
respond, yeah.
The most well reciprocated.
Definitely.
would be with Mikey.
Definitely.
Because
All right.
he's not a
That's good.
tight
Any
ass.
last few honorable mentions?
I would say Neville Longbottom and Luna Lovegood.
I feel like that was
They never hooked up really.
it doesn't happen. Is it not mentioned in the Cursed Child?
Is it? I don't know. I've never read that.
Okay, I see.
I
All
forget.
right.
I
I forget as well. All right, cool. So that's our episode.
No,
Almost.
the Red Ghost and Mrs. Pac-Man.
But then the moment she
That's
eats
it. No,
that
that's
cherry.
it. That's it. Just pop that cherry.
Yeah, but then he becomes white.
That's it. We're done.
All right, cool.
All
We're
right.
done. That's the end of the episode. Let us know about your ships, people, and let us know on contactgeekfruit@gmail.com, or you can follow us on our social media platforms at GeekFruitHQ. Naveen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having done this term of episodes. You did a great job,
Thanks,
and
guys.
we really scaled new heights.
You can make a
With
speech.
you.
You have 15 seconds.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I got to bite into this fruit called geek fruit.
You had 15 seconds and you used it on a pun. All right.
Sorry.
Okay, cool. All right. Janam, thanks for being here as well. We hope to hear you in more episodes.
Welcome to
Sure.
the fam.
Welcome
Thank
to the
you.
Geek Fruit family. And for the rest of you guys, we'll see you next week, you nerds.
Bye.
As you can see, we have a podcast listener in his natural habitat. Millions of years of evolution have led him to this point. He's on his way to work, and listening to podcasts makes his miserable day better. He will now head to work and use all his knowledge to communicate with other colleagues and possibly future mates. You can find more of his species on ivmpodcasts.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out all the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.